Yeah, my first manager
Yeah.
wasn't like a real manager.
No.
They were just like, I think they were like at the end of their management career.
Yeah.
Like they were big in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's actually funny because her name is like, she's name checked on an episode of Seinfeld because she was, like I said, she's big in the 80s.
Yeah.
And they like when Jerry's at the comedy club and
Mm-hmm.
they and you hear it in the background, the
Mm-hmm.
next comic is Pat Buckles, and
Yeah.
she gets a little like she's a comic, but it's actually my old manager.
Oh, that's
But
actually your old manager.
it's my actual old manager, but she didn't really like do anything for me. She was like a hookup.
Yeah.
She would
a
like
plug.
I think she was also like wasn't sure what she was doing anymore.
Yeah.
And it was cool. Like it just an interesting. It was like my first experience with like
Yeah.
trying to have a conversation with the manager type. But yeah, she was
Did she
definitely
book
like
you anything?
I don't remember, but I don't think so.
No. Yeah.
But it was like good for me to just have like learning the back and forth of it all because I
Yeah.
really didn't know. I was so young and I didn't know what to expect. But my first like real
Manager.
legitimate manager that
Yeah.
got me things actually got through Chris Hardwick when I did At Midnight. The very first time I
Really?
did At Midnight, right afterwards, he sent me a DM and was like, "If you don't have a manager, I have someone that's like new in the game, and I would love to
Yeah.
connect you to." And she was the shit. She was the best. We bonded so well,
Yeah.
and she was such a good person that she left the business. That's how you know she's actually.
You
a
can't
good
have
person.
morals and work in the entertainment
You
industry.
can't.
You literally cannot.
Yeah, you can't.
Wait, so you got this amazing manager from after midnight, but
At midnight.
at midnight. How did you get at midnight though? Did you already have somebody? Did you just have a hookup?
Nope. The way you want again, just like with the Quinta, like being like, I wrote this
Yeah.
with you in mind. I was. It's actually a really crazy story, but I don't want to tell the other part because it's really shitty.
Mm.
But basically, I happened to be free that weekend, and Ron Funches hit me up. It was like, hey, I'm at the Hollywood Improv. If you want to come do a set, love to have you. And I was like, cool. And so the host went up, and it was me, and then his friend Chris Hardwick came by to also do the show.
Yeah.
And he saw me, and as soon as I got off stage, he goes, "You have to do Beyonce on At Midnight." And I go, "Yes, I do have to do Beyonce on At Midnight." And he booked me right there. It was like exactly
That's
what you want as a
crazy.
comedian.
Yeah.
These are the things. This is how you want things to go for you.
Yeah.
But they're also like a shot in the dark. That's why, like, when people ask me, like, how do you do this? And how do you, sometimes I'm like, dude, I just waited.
It's just like
It just
luck.
fell in my
Good
lap,
luck.
but I also worked so
Yeah.
hard.
But you were ready.
I was exactly.
You were ready though.
When
You gotta stay like you don't. Yeah.
That's why in my opinion, it's like you shouldn't rush these things.
Mhm.
But if you want to rush them, it's because you want to be famous. Which is, I always tell comics, like, if you want to be famous, that's fine.
Yeah.
But just know that.
Yeah.
So that you can handle shit differently.
Yeah.
You can be a little more ruthless in the game
Yeah.
if that's really
And
all
stop
you're
trying
seeking.
to hide that that's what you're seeking. Because
Yeah.
that's just that pisses me off. Where it's just like, yeah, if you just want to be famous, then say that. But don't try to be like, no, like, I'm really invested in the craft and the journey and like, la 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 la. And it's like, you're not. And that's okay.
That's okay. And there's also some comics that are invested in the craft and want to be famous.
Yeah.
But like, if you're not willing to put in the work on either side, then it
Mhm.
isn't going to work out for you.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting because it's like you just care about the craft.
Mhm.
There's you just want to be famous, and there's the in between, and it's
Mhm.
like that's to me the spectrum of like what you are
Somebody's
as a
journey.
comic and how
Yeah.
you want to be out and perceived in the community.
Yeah.
But I feel very lucky that it just I shouldn't
Yeah.
say lucky. I worked very hard up until that point.
yeah.
There was a reason he said that. There was a
Mhm.
reason he offered me that because I fucking
Yeah.
showed up, crushed. I was
And you
prepared.
were at the right place at the right time, and you didn't like write that set off. You did your shit, you did you, and you got that, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Like I'll never forget an acting teacher of mine told me, which has like helped me not take things personally, especially when
Mhm.
it comes to entertainment industry, which is like everything is like 20% talent and then 80% of who you know, or 80% of like if you're in the right spot at the right time.
Right.
So just like always being ready is so important, but don't take it personally because it's sometimes luck.
Yeah, it's sometimes luck. It's
Yeah.
sometimes it. I will also say I know Funches wanted me to perform in front of
Yeah.
Hardwick,
Yeah.
and in my opinion, he made that happen.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't like lucky in that way. Like
Mhm.
I think it was. I've never talked to him about it, but he's a really thoughtful dude,
Mhm.
and he once I saw that Chris was on the lineup, I was like, oh, I'm not going to try anything new. I'm going to do my
Mhm.
100% every joke works. I'm going to smash it tonight.
Mhm.
And I did. And I think that's the other part of it is like, if you know how to navigate certain situations, you
Mhm.
will set yourself up for success, you know?
And that's
Uh,
also being aware of like somebody in the game in an industry,
right.
right? You looked at that lineup and you were like, okay, and now I'm gonna show up ready to fucking play.
Yeah, because I mean, I think the other problem I've noticed with a lot of younger comedians because of like social media, which we just talked about,
Mhm.
is people think they need to be constantly writing new material
Mhm.
as opposed to you should be perfecting your material. You should be
Mhm.
writing jokes that are undeniably hilarious and no audience can, not laugh at, or at least do your best to do that. Write the best version of your jokes, edit, 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 so that when you do have an opportunity to present your best self, you are ready to
Mhm.
present your best self. And, because shit will happen for you if you are on point.
Yeah. And I will admit that I struggle with that so hard with
We'll
like
struggle with what?
with feeling the need that like I need to write new material.
Yeah.
So sometimes I will just like unless it's something that I'm like super passionate about and I feel like I can just crank this out in a second,
Yeah.
I'll just like kind of put it in like a new notes folder. But I'm like I have to focus on the jokes that I already have because I want to have a solid 10 minutes that
Right.
is like undeniable. But yeah, I get the urge to be like, I'm bored with my shit. No,
Sure.
they heard this before. And it's like, no, they haven't. You've heard this before.
Yes.
So you need to find something new within this to
Right.
excite you to
Right.
keep wanting to come back to it,
Sure.
which
Or
I feel like
you
is where
just need
I'm
to
at.
write it so perfectly that you just
True.
it's locked and loaded and you can just go boom 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 boom.
Yeah.
Cuz I think that's the other thing is that people get tired of their material too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, dude, just perfect it and just have it. Don't you want to smash as soon as you walk out on the stage?
Yeah.
Like I always say, especially if you are bored with your set, just sandwich it in between, right?
Oh,
You do your
yeah.
killer shit, you sandwich some new shit, and you end with some killer shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a way to challenge yourself. I remember Louis C.K. many years ago. We hate him, but he did have this good technique of like once you have like a killer closer, you move it to the front.
Yeah. I
And
remember you telling me that.
and I
Yeah.
remember being like, "Oh my god!" And I still do it every now and again because I think it's
Yeah.
great advice
Yeah.
to like move the thing that you know is your best and put it at the top of
Mm-hmm.
your set, to force yourself to make your other jokes stronger
Backyard.
or whatever it
Yeah.
is, tighter, however, whatever that means. Stronger is so open to interpretation, but
That's
yeah,
actually I need to take that advice. I've been so because I remember you telling me that and I'm like, fuck, but like it's such a good closer.
right,
Like, why am
right,
I giving that up? Like, what if I end on a but I'm
yeah.
like, fuck. That's just such a good
It's
that's a
such
good
a
thing to
mind
do.
fuck.
It
You
really
want you want
is.
to scare yourself? Do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like really,
Yeah.
like if you want to try new material, try it by doing that and see how you
Mm-hmm.
feel. Because that's the other thing is like, it doesn't matter how sick of your old material you are, it's not going to be as good as your new material,
Yeah.
So like, switch it up, dude. See what
Yeah.
happens.
Because that forces you to like come up with different transitions. Because
Yeah.
for my closer, it's like everything before it is building up to that. But if I put that beforehand, it's like, okay, then what does that mean for my other shit?
Right.
And having to like actually think harder about that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And it's exciting too when you're like you care about your craft, and so that when these opportunities come, you are ready. You do
Mm-hmm.
have the knowledge and the experience to be like, "Oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do." Like
Yeah.
and maybe you will try something new or topical, but just put it in the center. Just put it in the fucking center so
Yeah.
you don't throw yourself off and you can kind of, gather yourself and get back
Yeah.
on track. The other thing too that I got through, so Chris got me this manager, Geraldine, and then Geraldine introduced me to this day, the same lawyer. And she's the
Oh.
best lawyer ever, and I love
Mm-hmm.
her. Shout out to Priya Verma,
Oh,
and
nice.
she's the best. And I've had multiple managers
Mm-hmm.
because the other thing is what's fucking crazy is that you meet someone and someone reps you and you're so excited because they're excited, and then over time they realize they don't want to be in the business anymore, or they don't want to be a
Yeah.
manager, or maybe they want to be a producer, maybe they want to pivot,
Yeah.
and then you kind of have to deal with the like, oh shit, well this rocked my world.
Yeah.
So when she left, I was still thankful to have my lawyer with me, and I still have her.
Mm-hmm.
After all these years, I've had new managers, new agents, but my lawyer has stayed
But
the
she's still the
same because she's the
same.
shit. Because also, she gets me, she
Mm-hmm.
understands me, and that's something that I'm thankful to have in a lawyer, and you hope to have it in your managers and your agents
Yeah.
because that doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
But more importantly, you do want that type of understanding from at least your manager, maybe not your agents,
Yeah.
because it's
Agents
so
are
matter of fact.
yeah,
They're
agents
matter
are a
of
little
fact
trickier.
relationships.
Yeah.
But you hope that your manager understands you, but you also have to understand yourself. Because I think that, again, we have that spectrum of like fame and art, and
Mm-hmm.
where do you sit in that,
Yeah.
you know? And I think that the best part for you is figuring that out,
Mm-hmm.
but then also having to navigate that with a manager who's also trying to elevate your career. Because
Yeah.
that's the other thing. If you do want representation, that means you do want to, you are leaning towards the fame of it all,
Yeah.
right? The notoriety of it all.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be ready and know yourself and be strong enough, or else they will manipulate your
Yeah.
career however they want to if you don't know how to say no to your manager, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's like doubly important, especially for a manager versus an agent. I mean, I don't have a manager, but I do know with my agents, it's basically like I have to tell them, like, this is who I am, this is what I want, these are the roles that I'm interested in. Do not send me out for anything
Right.
else. Or like if I didn't know myself, then they would be like, okay, but you should do this, 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 and this. And
Right.
it's just like, no, I don't want
Right.
that.
Right.
So the communication and knowing who you are, I feel like is yeah, even more important when you have a manager because to me a manager is like the next step after having an agent like for your career.
Yeah. I mean, it's debatable either way.
Yeah.
You could have one or the other or both. Um, and the other thing about that too is that
Mhm.
sometimes when you don't know yourself,
Mhm.
saying yes to everything is a good way to learn what you don't want.
That's so
You know,
true.
so it's like again, you have to figure it out. Whatever that means for you,
Mhm.
just fucking figure it out because the better you know yourself, the more comfortable you're gonna be. It's so
Yeah.
funny with the Abbott stuff because someone sent me a message that I kind of felt a little backhanded. Someone I know I've known for a long time.
Yeah.
They're like, you did it, and you did it, and you did it in your way that you wanted to. Like it was that thing
Yeah.
where it was like, oh, I get it. You didn't think I was gonna make it with my
Oh,
little attitude problem, and now
oh,
here I
dang.
am on like
Yeah.
the number one of the hit shows of
Yeah.
comedy,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's a surprise to some people.
Oh.
I always thought that was funny, but I mean, again, you carry yourself how you want to carry yourself. The rumors are going to spread, and that is what it is.
Yeah.
But if you know yourself,
Mhm.
you will be fine.
Mhm.
But fine is relative, right?
Yeah.
Because some people aren't fine with being disliked by famous comedians that they
Mhm.
may have looked up to once, and
Yeah.
when they were young. Um, and I've just learned to be like, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Mhm.
Like if you cross the line with me, I'll cross the line back. I don't care. I hit back, Um
Which is literally one of the things that I noticed when I first met you. I was like, oh yeah, Marcella doesn't give a fuck. Like you say something crazy, she gonna say something back. And
well,
like I respect
I
that.
would argue it's not that I don't give a fuck, it's that I give a fuck. I give a fuck
Mm,
about myself. I
yeah.
give a fuck about who I am. I give
Yeah.
a fuck about how people talk to me. I give a fuck
Yeah.
about how this interaction is going.
Mhm.
I give a fuck. That's why I talk back cuz
Yeah.
it's not okay, just like with that AI slop comedy club. It's like I had to
The
put
fucking
my foot
shimmy.
down, like I'm glad it wasn't a huge payday so I could go, I don't need these 500 fucking dollars or
Yeah.
whatever what I was going to make with merch and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But like you have to learn who you are
Mhm.
in life, and then you can take parts of that to the industry. Have I learned to not be a huge raging fucking cunt in front of everybody? Yeah, I've learned that over the years. I've learned how to contain myself, but it took a lot of practice. It took a lot
Yeah.
of making mistakes. I'm not encouraging people to go out and be cunts in meetings.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm just, I know myself, and that's
Mhm.
also why, like with managers, I'm blunt with managers when
Mhm.
we're having meetings. Like I'll be like, I remember with this manager I have now, because it was like during the early in the pandemic, and I
Yeah.
was like, hey, things aren't going great for me right now, but they're not going great for anybody.
Yeah.
And I know you're gonna have a hard time too. You're new in
Mhm.
this. Like, let's just learn together and grow together and see
Mhm.
what happens. It was
Yeah.
cool because he was down,
Yeah.
and that's what you want. You want that. You want a manager that's going to respect you as much as they possibly can within the
Mhm.
confines of their job,
Yeah.
and what's expected of them. Because there's also moments where, I mean, I've just had so many bad situations. I don't want to talk about
Mm.
every terrible thing that's happened. So
But that's why no, but
you
I'm
talk,
well, I
bitch.
mean, you said you've had so many bad situations. That's why comedy is dead. It's because of industry.
Comedy is dead
Because of the
because of
industry.
the industry. Thank you. It is like that's the thing, is like the industry keeps like ruining people and squeezing people
Yeah.
and making it harder for people. And what's crazy is the industry itself is crumbling because they have
Mhm.
no moral compass, they have no
None.
ethics, they don't
None.
care, no one's invested, and the people that are invested are suffering. I just started that show on Apple TV. Um with Seth Rogen.
I know the show you're talking about. I haven't
Yeah.
started yet, but I know the
Very,
show you're
very,
talking
it's
about. What is it
award-winning
called?
show with Seth Rogen. I forget
Yeah.
what it's called. But I was like, oh, this is why it's won so many awards. It's so fucking accurate about how the industry works. I've only seen one episode and
Oh.
I'm like, oh, I'm in.
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
watch this with my boo because I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
want to be. He works in music, so he
Yeah.
knows the bullshit. It's the same. There's
With
a
the
lot of
music
overlap.
industry, yeah.
It's the worst. It might even be worse than the entertainment. I mean, the Hollywood.
Yeah.
Is the music industry. I mean, they're in bed together. They're fucked up.
That's why we aren't getting any more music from Rihanna, just so everybody
Yeah.
knows. It's because of the music industry.
Because of the music industry. And so, yeah, comedy is dead because the industry is like crumbling and fumbling.
Yeah.
And there are comics who, I mean, comics are also crumbling and fumbling. The Saudi Arabia Festival really proved that like comics are.
The blowback for that too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there were just so many different like deadline articles and shit being written for comics that were coming back, but Jessica Kirson,
Oh, yeah.
she was like not aware of like how bad it was going to be, and I think ended up donating all of her money, which I think is really great.
Yeah.
But I still low key kind of fucked with her decision to go. Like when we talked about it the last episode,
Yeah.
which she basically was like, she thought that she was going to bring something good to the gays in Saudi Arabia, which
Right,
I'm like,
right.
I mean, you know, there are people there suffering and they deserve to laugh as well.
Yeah. It was a very naive approach.
It was so naive, but it's like the only one of all of them that I
agree.
will fuck
I
with.
once you brought that up, I was like, oh, that's fucking true. I didn't think about that. And I
Yeah.
also was like, I'd be like, oh, now I'm concerned for her safety. I hope she comes
Yeah.
back in one piece.
Yeah, well, and then the fact that she was just like listening to everybody and be like, you know, I'm gonna course correct. I'm donating my money. I was like, okay, great, love it. And I watched her special too, which was really
A
good.
great special. Yeah,
Yeah,
really
it's
funny.
really, really good. I think it's on HBO. I can't remember.
No,
HBO?
it's on Hulu.
Hulu.
Shout out to Hilarious. They're putting a lot
Yeah,
of
they
good,
really
funny
are.
stuff, and they're doing what Netflix used to do before Chappelle fucking ruined the
everything,
budget.
that and Matt Rife, but whatever. So yeah, with a lot of blowback for that, but I think I also read like Aziz Ansari was trying to donate his, and then they
To
were
the Human
like,
Rights Campaign,
and then Human Rights was like,
no, we don't
bitch.
want your money. God bless them.
Thank God. They were like, no.
Someone have a spine.
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
God.
And then like I think Dave Chappelle was just like basically saying that you get canceled more saying shit in America than you do in Saudi Arabia. And I was like, then stay in Saudi Arabia, bitch.
Dude,
fucking stay in Saudi Arabia.
That was crazy. That was
like,
crazy.
are you insane right now?
It's one of those things where I'm like, do you guys know they're
killing people?
Journalists?
Killing people.
Like journalists. Like,
yeah.
The killing people is like we kill people here. But the journalist thing really is like, dog, I don't think you hear yourself.
Yeah.
Like these are people that are contributing to society and they're being
murdered for what they say. For what they say.
Like they're the can't like you're a millionaire. If not you're approaching a billionaire status, I believe. And it's like, dude, you're fine. You could self-fund your career for the rest of your life and you would be fine.
And yet he chose to go do that and then fucking complain about it. I was like, you are... And then also Bill Burr came back and he was like, it was a great time. And I'm like, Bill...
That's that.
No.
I wish I could be like, please stop talking.
Stop.
Please stop.
He was like, no, it was great. He basically was like, the crown prince or whoever loved it. They were having a great time. And I was like, not what we want to hear, dude.
Yeah, it was a bummer. That was a bummer. That turned me into like, it went from being like, I really wasn't surprised any of the people that said yes, aside from Pete, you know?
Yeah.
But it was like, I just wanted to be like, can you guys just...
Bill, stop.
Stop talking.
Stop fucking
You're making
talking,
it hard
dude.
for me to love you.
Yeah. And then there was another comedian that basically was like, that basically said that there wasn't going to be any restrictions on what they could say. But then another comedian who dropped out, oh my God, what's her name? She posted the shit on, she posted the contract on Instagram.
Oh yeah, Atsuko.
Yeah, Atsuko. Yeah, and she was like, no.
Yeah. Another Atsuko Okatsa has a hilarious special on
Mm-hmm.
Hulu as well that just came out. Catch that shit.
Yeah. So I'm truly just like blown with all of the think pieces that are coming out and everything that all the comedians are saying. I'm like, y'all.
It just you know what it is too? It's that thing when like somebody realizes what they did was wrong and they're just like, oh, I didn't know. Here, let me make it up to you. Let me make it. And it's like, dog, it's over. we broke up. You fucked up, and we can't be together anymore.
No. Like you can still take accountability, but we're not going to be together anymore.
We're not going to be together anymore.
Like,
It's
no.
over, boo.
Yeah, and like shout out to the Human Rights Campaign for telling
Yes,
Aziz
God
to
bless
fucking
them.
suck it.
I love that. I love that. They made me laugh so much.
Aziz is like, "Do you guys want the money? I fucked up," and they're like, "Nah, dog, that's blood money.
Yeah.
We can't
Ugh,
fucking have that."
that was brutal.
But yeah, industries. I mean, I don't. The industry that I feel like I obviously interact the most with are like producers or bookers,
Sure.
and I just hear so many mixed messages on how to reach out to bookers like via
Mm.
email, like the
Mm.
do's and the don'ts, what you should say, what they want. And I think what's so crazy, and I've read, information from bookers, and there's nothing consistent across the
No.
board. And I think that's what stresses me out, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to send this email that actually works for this booker. But if I send it to this booker, unbeknownst to me, they may not like that and then just tell me to fuck off. But it works for this booker. And I think that's the shit that kind of like, it's just like, well, it's out of my control, but it pisses me off because I'm like, I'm trying my best here to send in the thing, but unless you tell me this is what I want,
Yeah.
then it's like, well, I don't know what you
I
want.
mean, that's the reiterating. Comedy is dead because of the industry. Like, people have too much power and they have too many opinions, and they are making it too personal. It's
Yeah.
like, if you don't approach me with just the right amount of vanilla, I'm not gonna book you. And
And
it's
it's
like,
just like,
oh my God.
dude.
That's that's actually a really good way to realize that the industry is fucked up in Hollywood and in
Mm-hmm.
just in the comedy business,
Yeah.
because people are just bringing all their bullshit, bringing all their autism
Yeah.
to
And their Tylenol.
handling
Yeah.
business. And you just want to be like, dude, I can't with you. Because,
Yeah.
like, okay, I book a monthly show
Mm-hmm.
that's low stakes. It's
Yeah.
my show. The whole point of my show is that I do a fuck ton of time.
Yeah.
That people usually come to see me.
Mm-hmm.
It's my show.
Yeah.
So when I book 4 or 5 comedians, they're getting like 8 to 10 minutes. And
Which
I'm
is
hoping that
great.
they're keeping it nice, tight, and funny,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe trying something wild because my audience is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll get all these submissions because people go to the Lincoln Lodge website,
Mm-hmm.
and they send me like DMs, right?
Yeah.
Because there is no booking email. Because the way I book
Mm-hmm.
is I just go to live shows
Yeah.
and I watch comedians in Chicago,
Yeah.
and then I book them if they're funny.
Yeah.
That's all I do, because
Mhm.
it's my show and I'm a comedian and I'm not a producer. I'm not a booker. I know how to be that,
Yeah.
but it's not what I want to do.
True,
I just want
yeah.
to run a fun show for myself where
Mhm.
I get to, it's basically my open mic,
Mm-hmm.
and it's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I make a little money, put a little money in people's pockets, and I
Yeah.
also provide a good audience for
It's a great show.
it's a great
I
show.
love it.
And thank you. But I get these DMs of people wanting to do the show, and
Mhm.
I don't know how to be like, I'm not gonna book you, bro. I don't care about you.
Damn.
I don't know you.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give people opportunities, because
Yeah.
also it's usually 8 minutes for not much money.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I'm not a reason to come to
Yeah.
Chicago, because sometimes people will be like, I'm thinking about coming to Chicago. Can I? And it's like, oh no.
And these are people that you don't know.
I don't
that are
know
just
them,
DMing you.
and they're just DMing, which
Mm.
is fine. I understand.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying.
Like, you're hustling. You're trying.
You're trying. I respect what comics are doing, but
Yeah.
like that's not how I book my show.
Yeah.
But like I don't look down on anybody who's doing that shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Which I think is like the different, like that, like your response to that is different than some of the responses.
My
to other
response to that is
bookers.
I ignore everybody because I don't give a fuck.
Which is like, honestly, like ignoring is like fine, because I'm just like, okay, like message received. They're not booking, this, not how it books. It's the like certain producers like digging their heels in and like like crafting like some sort of like snarky response as if I was supposed to know what they wanted,
Right.
when it's not anywhere.
Right.
Like, I understand that if there's an outline to be like, send your clip, your bio, and a veils,
And they don't have
and
that.
and if you don't submit that, then it's like, okay, you're not listening to instructions. That's annoying and a problem. But if I do that and you don't have any instructions, and then you're gonna yell at me or snip at me, what?
Right.
Okay, then I'm just like, well, then I guess I don't want to work with you. But like,
Right.
are you having a bad day? Like, what the
Right.
fuck?
I mean, that's the thing, is like I feel sad for young comedians that take shit too personal. That was something I was
Mhm.
when I was moderating that panel for Latino Comedy Festival. I was like, please stop taking things personal. Like,
Mhm.
you're literally dealing with people who they have a little power and they
Mhm.
abuse it any way they can. I think that's something we've learned about people in the
Yes.
last few years, through
Yeah.
the political spectrum of bullshit,
Mhm.
is that people will take any little power they have and abuse it.
Mhm.
And it's really frustrating because you're like, man, it's people who were rejected in high school are now like using this as a way to like strong arm whatever the fuck they need to be done, how they
Yeah.
want it to be done. And I guess it's fine because it's like, I mean, that's your little, like, again, with that AI slopful, I'm like, I don't want to put him on
Okay.
blast because that's how he's running his shit.
Yeah.
Eventually the shit's going to crumble because I personally don't think he's handling his shit well.
No.
Right. So for me, the writings are on the wall for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so as comedians, it's just like, stop taking things stop being so attached to
Mm-hmm.
every email you send out.
Yeah.
Just send them out. Fucking forget it. If you can follow up, do it. If they don't want to book you, move on.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if you really want to do that spot, show up.
Mm-hmm.
Go down to that venue.
Yeah.
I'm a comedian. I'm just trying to hang out. I was wondering if I could watch this show. And if you have to buy a ticket, buy a ticket, guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I hate to say it,
You have
but some
to.
clubs fucking hate letting comics sit in the back. Many clubs
Yeah.
don't mind it.
Yeah.
Many clubs are fine with it. But most comedy venues also want to know you, or at least be like, oh yeah, I've seen you before.
I've seen your face. It's basically like paying your dues.
Paying
like
your
there are ways
dues.
to pay your dues.
So that's the thing. It's like if the emails aren't working, and if you have the ability to show up,
Mm-hmm.
try it. See what
Yeah.
happens. Is there a manager here? Can I?
Yeah.
What's the process? Like, what do you guys need? What do you
Mhm.
look for? Because if you can't get those answers through an email,
Yeah.
do your best. Do your due diligence.
And also like ask around too. Like
yeah, absolutely.
if I've like submitted a couple times, and I'll just ask other comics that I feel like what is important to that is following their social medias, seeing who else, like if you have a friend that's worked there,
Smart.
then like hit them up and be like, hey, like what was your experience? You know who to contact, X, Y, and Z, like within respect.
Right.
Because I've also heard of some comedians name dropping other comedians that didn't give them permission to do that, and I'm like, you what?
Yeah, never name drop if
Don't
you are
do
not
that.
if you don't have the permission to do it.
Permission.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's
I'm like
crazy.
name drop, like when people are coming to Chicago to the Laugh Factory because
Yeah.
I know the bookers,
Yeah.
so I'll be like name dropping, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like
Yeah.
there's not much I have no control over a
None.
booker, and sometimes people are inundated with emails or they're behind.
Yeah.
Again, you don't know how people are approaching their booking. It could
Mhm.
be as simple as it went to their spam.
Well, that too. Spam has gotten horrible. Everything like goes to spam these days. It's
Yeah.
pretty fucking crazy.
So like you just have to stay on top of shit, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
I'm just a believer that if you keep doing the work and keep doing your thing, and if you're slowly expanding
Mhm.
your network, you will eventually get to where you need to be.
Yeah. And it's also like for as much as like I'll be irritated at like how certain producers or whatever like conduct themselves and speak to comedians, it's also like putting yourself into their shoes as well, because it's like, okay, you sent an email, but how many other comedians are sending a million freaking emails on top of whatever else they have to do to like run that comedy club? So it's like giving them a little bit of grace,
Absolutely.
Don't expect them to like get back to you in a day or even a week sometimes. Like
Right.
so much shit is happening.
Oh my God.
Like it's crazy.
When I was doing that panel, there were two bookers actually.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying how there's someone who emails them every 3 days. Every 3 days they email them trying to get. Don't do that, guys.
Every 3 days?
Every 3 days this person is emailing. Stop doing that. Don't harass these people.
No.
Do not harass people.
No.
That's what you're doing. You're harassing people.
Yeah. I've been told like once a week is fine.
I mean, even I think that's a lot.
I think it's a lot, but when I talked to this specific booker, like not something I was doing, but I was like out of curiosity, like, what do you feel like is reasonable? And they're like, once a week is okay. And I was like, really? I was like, I might just use that for you.
Right,
I was like, I don't know if I'm
right.
gonna use that for other people, but
And
I was like,
that's
glad
the
I asked
thing,
you.
is like that's why you want to establish relationships with these venues and
Yeah.
these employees and these managers and these bookers, is because you get to know them. You get to know what they like, because I would imagine maybe somebody that's booking with ADHD, maybe every 3 days is fine with them.
Yeah.
Like you just don't know. That's why it's
Mhm.
like it's hard to answer some of these questions sometimes when
Mhm.
comics ask me these things, because I'm like, dude, it's fucking hit or miss. There's like
Yeah.
some venues that are fine with that shit, and some that fucking hate it. Some that do have a system, but
Yeah.
you don't know that system until you fucking start emailing
Trying.
and start trying.
And
Yeah,
start talking. And
Yeah.
also too, like I've learned that like for clubs that are only booking for like headliners, so they're only really doing like features, not so much a showcase, where it's like they'll have you for so long and then they obviously like have to take a break and then cycle back to someone like
Right.
you. And I had to learn that earlier on, because I was like, wait, like I was like in this club for like months at a time for this 1 year, and it kind of like went stale. And then I talked to another comedian that's just like, oh, that happened to me as well. But it's like they have to cycle through because their audience that they just showed you to for like 5 headliners have now seen you.
Right.
So now they have to cycle in some newer talent. I'm like,
Right.
oh.
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay,
Yeah,
noted, noted,
exactly. There's so
noted.
many comedians. I mean, Punchline in San Francisco, they have a bunch of clubs in Northern California,
Mm-hmm.
and they've expanded. But like now, it used to be you could work as a headliner like once a year, and usually featuring a host, whatever level you're at. It's like once a year.
Yeah.
Now it's less than that. It's like every 18
Really?
months. They're just so
18
busy.
months,
Unless you're
yeah.
like you can sell out 6
True.
shows,
Yeah.
on a whatever fucking Thursday to Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're just like there's no rush because the other thing I always have to remind comedians, this is a business. These
Mm-hmm.
people are trying to make a profit, to keep the doors open, to keep comedy alive.
Yeah.
They're doing their damnedest,
Mm-hmm.
but whatever that's open to interpretation for them. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
they want to do, whatever crowd they want to bring. Because I
Yeah.
mean, you do like zanies or something, like
Mm-hmm.
they predominantly draw a very conservative
Yeah.
white
Crowd.
audience,
Yeah.
right? And if you know that going in, whether you want to perform there or not is up to
Yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
But like for me, when I was like, oh, this isn't a venue for me, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
When my homies are headlining, I go and I do little spots, and I
Yeah.
love it, and I get a cute little tape, and it's
Mm-hmm.
fine. I'm satisfied with that.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing, is sometimes people achieve these goals. They're like trying to achieve a goal.
Mm-hmm.
They get the goal and they go, oh wait, now I understand what's happening. Because that's the other thing comics don't realize. You're like,
Yeah.
I want to work at this club. I want to work at this club.
Yeah.
But you're looking at the back of people's heads,
Yeah.
and sometimes you're not realizing or assessing,
Mm-hmm.
analyzing, what's to be expected for you.
Yeah. Or not
And
analyzing a club's lineup. Something that I'll do before I
exactly.
submit, I'll be like, who have they had within the past 2 months? Because that'll give me a gauge
Right.
as far as like who their clientele are like rolling through.
Sure.
And I feel like Zanies is like a good example because
Yeah.
like when I was first starting out, I was like, yeah, like I want to work at Laugh Factory, Comedy Bar, Zanies. This is what I'm going for. And then it's like, okay, I've done those, and I felt the same way with Zanies after a couple of times. I was like, okay, I don't think this is the place for me.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's okay.
okay. That's
literally
okay.
okay. It doesn't mean that I'm failing as a comic. It just
Exactly.
means like these are their people. They are not my people.
Right.
And now let me go seek out another place where my people can come.
Yeah. Especially if like you are looking still for your audience. If you're
Yeah.
looking for your audience, you're like, well, they're not my audience, so why would I perform there?
And why would I keep suffering?
And also, like, there's comics who they love performing in front of everybody. It doesn't matter what they're
Mhm.
great. That's great for you. Again, you have to figure out what you want. Like that goes back to have it here. What do you want? Because when you are looking for a manager, or
Yeah.
managers are looking for you,
Mhm.
you need to know what do you want, so that you can have a real conversation with the manager, and they can try, and you can see if you're a good fit together. Because sometimes it's like you have a meeting with the manager, and they just want money,
Yeah.
money, which is fine. That's what their prerogative. They will find that. There are plenty of performers that will provide that for them. Um, I used to, well, I still tell my lawyer, I'm like, I'm your savings account, like your future savings account. I'm not gonna make you money right now. And she's a shit, because she has so many different types of clients, like
Yeah.
A-listers down to someone like me. And actually, I just found out recently I'm the only comedian she has. Like,
Oh,
I'm
really?
Abbott officially makes me like an actor,
Actor?
even though I've been in SAG-AFTRA for years and years and years.
Yeah.
But I haven't had like legitimate acting roles. They've just been like, industry stuff,
Yeah.
and little things here and there. But this makes me an official actor. Now I'm a comedian / actor / writer.
You got that slash in there.
I got the
You got the
slashes in there.
slash.
But anyhow, I want to encourage everyone. If you don't know what you want, you don't, your whole shit will be a mess.
Yeah.
And also the other thing I really want to emphasize to people, because sometimes, especially young comedians, you guys are so like, oh, I need a manager, I need agents, I need this, I need that, and you do eventually,
Yeah.
if you're on that track.
Yeah.
But the thing you guys have to remember is like, these people are your employees. I think that's one thing people really, really seem to forget. Like, you don't need to be thirsty for these fools. They should be thirsty for you. You're their boss. You
Yeah.
have to look at it that
You
way.
should make them come to you.
You should make them come to you, but also you can look for them. But just as you're hiring an employee, you do have
Yeah.
to understand what that comes with,
Yeah.
But yeah, they're taking 10% of what you made, right? And yeah, you may have found it, but most of the work I've gotten myself.
Yeah.
Touring, my manager helps me with that. But for the most part, I mean, I couldn't tour without all my credits that I,
That you yourself
that I
got.
made, that I got. And That's like the thing that I always try to emphasize. They're your employees, not to say that you should be like talking down to them or treating them like shit or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that, but
They work for you.
just stop acting like you work for them. They work
Mm-hmm.
for you. And
Yeah.
I always try to emphasize that because people really seem to forget that, like
Mm-hmm.
as if they have to always tell their manager yes. It's like, no.
No.
And if you're afraid of like saying no, learn how to have a conversation that
About that.
about not just about saying no, but about the topic that
Mm-hmm.
you're like, well, I'm not certain that this is for me. Why do you think I should do this? Like, what do
Mm-hmm.
you think are the benefits of this? Because sometimes they will have
A reason.
great reasons for you to try
Mm-hmm.
something. And I've definitely, when I was hesitant,
Mm-hmm.
like I was like, oh, I always try not to say no immediately unless it's like
Yeah.
nudity or something, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so I always try to like be open to new ideas and new
Mm-hmm.
auditions or this and
Mm-hmm.
that. And if I can't be talked into it, then I'm like, all right, it's a no. If I can't be
Yeah.
talked into it, then it's definitely a no.
I always give myself a day. Like my rule of thumb is like if I get something in, if I have the time, I will give myself a day to think on it because there is that instant impulse where you're like, no, or like, ooh, yes, and you're like,
Right.
okay, let
And
me
that's
take a step back.
And that's the
Let me
thing
think
with
about it.
agents. Agents are just gonna send you, send you, send you, send you,
Yeah,
send you. Managers, you can have a full
conversation
conversation
about
with
it. Mm-hmm.
and be like, "Well, what do you think? Do you think this would be good? Do you think that my
Mm-hmm.
calendar this and my calendar that?" But just, I say all that to say too is that a lot of times managers and agents, they don't want the best for you. They're not looking out for you. I mean,
Yeah.
my dad, when I used to leave Modesto, and I headed to LA
Mm-hmm.
because it's not a far drive. He'd always be like, look out for yourself. The people out there, they want to take advantage of you. He would always
Yeah.
tell me that every time I left LA, and I'm really glad he did because it really helped me keep my shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but man, I had to stop letting my agents talk me into gigs that didn't feel right instinctively. I remember one time I
Mm-hmm.
fainted at the airport. We were talking about this yesterday.
Oh
I
yeah.
fainted. I didn't tell you the full story though,
Oh.
because the full story is that my agent was routing me to, I think it was DC,
Yeah.
but there were no direct flights for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to like go. Oh no, it wasn't DC. We were going to upstate New York.
Okay.
That's what we were doing. And there was no direct flight. So I had to go
Yeah.
through DC. It was a
Oh.
2 flight thing. And it was the same day. It was like, I needed to do a
Damn.
college in upstate New York.
Yeah.
So I needed to leave at like 4 or 5 a.m., something crazy.
Yeah.
Ended up, because I was on meds and I had only a little to eat that morning,
Yeah.
I ended up fainting at the airport. And I still caught my flight. I was
Mm-hmm.
able to catch my flight with, not my flight. I caught like the next one, which was a half hour, luckily.
Yeah.
So then I got on the next. I made it to. I rushed. I made my connection, the
Mm-hmm.
already existing flight. I got in the air, and then they had mechanical issues with the flight, and it had to land. It had to do an emergency landing, and my friend David Borey, he was also, we were supposed to do the gig together. There also had no direct flights. He had to go through Canada. That's why I was thinking about Canada. He had to go through Canada, but because he had some like legal shit that I don't want to get into, he was being held at the border, and he also missed the gig. And so I was like, oh, so I literally flew across the country
For
to
nothing.
take a bath.
To take a bath.
And here was the thing. When all was said and done, when I booked that gig, I pushed back on my agent and I said, I don't know if I should do 2 flights in one day to get to a gig with like in 2 hours or 1 hour to spare, whatever it
Yeah.
was. And he was like, no, you can totally do it. You could totally do it. You could totally do it. And I was like, couldn't I get there a day before? And he was like, well, let me ask, but I don't think they have the budget for that. But it was a college, so I know that they did.
Yeah.
And then he asked them, and he was like, no, they don't, but I still think you could do it. And this was back when I was like broke. I couldn't be like putting myself up for another night in a hotel. I couldn't do nothing. It was like, that was just not, I just was not feasible financially for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I was sitting in that bath, I remember being like, yep, I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have come out day of to take 2 flights to get somewhere that was
Yeah.
difficult to get to. Because then it was like, once we got
Jesus.
to wherever we were going in the area of New York, we still had to drive. We had to get a rental and then drive and then da da da. Yeah, it was fucked up. Yeah, upstate New York, this is ugly.
Yeah.
And I mean, to get to, it's beautiful. But I remember, I still to this day have never let an agent talk me into nothing
Yeah.
because of that. Because I was like, I fainted in an airport. And you don't care. Why would you care? You
Yeah.
probably like think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And yeah, the agents are not always looking out for you. Oh, you
No.
know what I could talk about briefly? I want to
Mm.
talk about two things.
What?
Um, my so you have to learn also when it's appropriate to leave a manager or an agent. And I think
Oh, I've always wondered that. I
yes,
have always wondered
because
that.
people are always like, when? How do I get one? How do I get one?
Yeah.
The important thing is when do you leave?
Yeah.
You know, and I've had so many. I have so many stories.
When do you leave and how do you start that conversation? Like
It's
do you leave before you have something in place? Because I've always wondered that. Or do you just leave? I mean, it depends on the situation,
exactly. It
but
depends on the situation, and you as a human being need to figure out what
yeah.
you need to do, and you need to get all your ducks in a row because if there's contracts that are outstanding and there's gigs you want
Yeah.
to do, you need to see those things through or figure them out or
Yeah.
whatever, whatever. I've had multiple terrible situations. Like one time, a manager got let go from her management company, and I was put in the position of who do you pick, the manager or the
A
management
management
company?
company.
Because the management company wanted to keep me,
Yeah.
and she wanted to keep me, but she had no plans. And then they wanted to keep me, and they fully bribed me with 20K to make a to make like a pilot presentation,
Yeah.
which I was like, God damn, this is
20K. I mean, you
yeah, you know,
can.
and the thing
Yeah.
was we were gonna spend all that and you know give
Yeah.
it and we did. We spent it. We gave money to my friends. We
Yeah.
shot these great sketches. It was really
Mhm.
fun. It was a great experience.
Mhm.
And normally I couldn't be bribed,
Yeah.
right? But the thing was, the reality was my relationship with this manager was terrible. It
Yeah.
was showing. Her cracks were showing over
Mhm.
time. It was like obvious why she was getting let go.
Go. Yeah.
And I mean, there was a situation with it. Like I kind of did this. I did my own test.
Yeah.
When you want to talk about like when do you know? I did
Oh
this
yeah.
test where I there was a person who I didn't really want to work with, but
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let her handle this booking,
Yeah.
because I could handle it myself because I know this person,
Yeah.
but I don't really like him, so I'm gonna
Mhm.
let her handle it.
Yeah.
And he kept making us think about my phone number, about needing my phone number. And I don't like, I'm very private. I don't like if people have my phone number. I
Yeah.
also don't like to do business over the phone. You guys want a real hot tip that people don't seem to
So
grasp. Do
doing
not do
business
business
over the
talking
phone?
over the phone. Do
Yeah.
not. Make sure everything is in writing. Make
Yeah.
sure every exchange you have is an email. If you do a phone call
Yeah.
for quote unquote business, go, okay, I'm going to make sure I send you an email
Yeah.
reiterating and confirming what we just discussed.
Well,
Immediately send
and you're
that
talking,
shit.
and that's just for like to clarify. That's just for like managers, big time like money booking.
No.
Not even for like just a
No.
show.
No. Over the phone. No. You can do a text. I
Oh,
think
like a text. Oh,
text
okay.
and DMs.
Okay. Or it's like fine.
What I want to emphasize is get everything in
Writing.
writing.
Yes.
Get
Okay. Sorry.
everything
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
writing. I don't care
Yeah.
where it is. Get it in writing. But
Yeah.
you should do shit over email.
Got you. Got you. Got
Keep
you.
shit more professional.
Yeah.
People still use Facebook Messenger, and I'm like, that's nuts. But fine, whatever. That's how you want to do your shit. Fine.
Which is literally like another app that I don't use, but I
Yeah,
only
yeah,
use for
no.
bookings. And you're like, please.
But yeah, this I had it where I was like, I don't want to be on. I don't want to give this man my phone number, so I
Yeah.
need you to help me. And she was like, oh yeah, there's this like three-way. You know, I'm gonna connect. You know, we're gonna be
Mhm.
on a whatever the fuck thing she used to do 3 people on a call. She totally fucked it up, totally fucked it up. This dude got furious. He was like, see, and this is why I need your number. It's because if we're gonna do this gig, I'm gonna need to contact you immediately. And I was like, okay, then we just won't do this gig. Bye, have a good one. Because I honestly didn't want to do the gig. I didn't really want to work with
Yeah.
this person anymore. I dealt with him before. He's in my opinion, from what I've heard many stories about him. He's
Yeah.
not a good person.
Okay.
He's a you know he keeps all the money for himself.
Mhm.
You know when he produces shit. And he's also one of these people who is like, oh, come to my benefit show. For whatever reason, he's always throwing
Oh.
benefits, but you
Yeah.
don't get paid.
Yeah.
But he's also always got like a nice
He's gonna take some for
expensive
himself
outfit. There's a few of those running around. You got to be weary.
for the
Again,
benefit
that's why I
shows.
do all your business over email and
Mhm.
never over the phone. But because of how she was unable to just handle doing a party line 3-way
Mhm.
call,
Yeah.
the fact that she couldn't handle, I was like, okay, this is enough for me to
be
prove
like,
to me that
"Bye."
yeah, like you can't
Yeah.
do, in my opinion, something simple that a manager should do.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, like I started making my little list, like in the same way that like when you're getting divorced,
Yeah.
you start on this day he did, or when you want custody of your
You gotta
child,
keep track of that
you
shit.
gotta write that shit down. On this
Mhm.
day he did this, on this day he did that, on that day he did this, because
Yeah.
you were like, no, I need to show I have evidence.
Mhm.
Maybe not to you. I'm not gonna sit here and as a manager and give you all the rundown. Like, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not working. If you want to have a talk
Mhm.
about it, that's fine. But when she got let go, it helped me
You
kind
weren't like
of.
fully surprised. You were like,
I wasn't surprised. I don't think she was
"Ah."
surprised. And she was a great person. I think she's a great person. I'm not
Mhm.
even sitting here and trying to shit on her. She just, management in that
Wasn't her
scenario
thing.
was not her thing.
Yeah.
It really was. That's the thing. People sometimes they think they want to
Mhm.
do something and they actually are not as great as they think they're going to be. All
Yeah.
this shit is hard. And if you
Yeah.
have like a hard worker who knows themselves, it's gonna be hard to navigate that.
Yeah.
So that's one instance of when I let my manager go. Another one, which is kind of crazy, is when remember when Amy Schumer was posting hella crazy
She lost her fucking
anti-Palestinian
yes, and then she turned the comments
racist
off, and you're like, why are you turning the comments off,
shit?
bitch? You know
Yeah,
why?
it was crazy. So
Yeah.
I was using that as a way, because a lot of people don't know I'm hella Arab. I just
Mhm.
identify with my Salvadorian side the most openly because both my parents born and raised in El Salvador.
Mhm.
I'm raised culturally Salvadorian American. That's
Mhm.
my cultural background. That's how I was raised. But I have a mix of Nicaraguan, I have
Mhm.
Lebanese, I'm Palestinian, I'm Spanish. Those are all things. And my Arab side is a huge part of where my talent comes from.
Mhm.
My father's mother was a singer in El Salvador,
Mhm.
but someone doesn't like this. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Chicago,
wow.
you guys don't know how to drive.
It's
I
very.
bet both of those people are wrong. Um, anyways, the moment we talked about serious shit
I know, and
happens,
they're
yeah.
literally like,
Someone's
huh?
like, don't tell the story. God, no, don't. No, I'm gonna tell the story. So, I was using her crazy racist posts as
Mhm.
like a way to see who of my friends does
Yeah.
not think I should exist.
Yeah.
Because my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, she is from Lebanon and Palestine,
Mhm.
and which a lot of people don't know,
Mhm.
which I don't it doesn't they don't need to know. Like, I
Yeah.
wasn't culturally raised with it. We had some of the food growing up, but that's about it.
Yeah.
She was raised Salvadorian and I was raised Salvadorian, and but I look like her,
Mhm.
and you can see the Arab in my face if you fucking know how to look at a face. And I so I was using Amy Schumer's Instagram
Mhm.
as a way to find out who the fuck didn't think I was a real person,
Mhm.
or should exist, or if my
Yeah.
family never fled, you know, back in the early 1900s, late 1800s,
Mhm.
would I be there? Like, I think about all that shit.
Mhm.
And one of my agents liked one of the most racist posts, because that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, if you're posting like all your pro people, like, I get it, you are pro your people, I'm about
Mhm.
that, I fully get that. Like, that's your
Yeah.
people, you're proud of your people.
Yeah.
But when you choose to use your page as a way to talk really racist, terrible shit,
Mhm.
and deny the existence of another group of people,
Mhm.
whoever kind of people that they can be, I'm gonna fucking, if it's me, bitch, I'm gonna have a problem with the
Yeah,
shit.
you gonna tune in.
So my agent liked one of her mega mega racist posts,
Mhm.
and I still have the screenshot.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I have to leave my
Yeah.
management company. I have
Yeah.
to leave CAA.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
Oh, the CAA. Wow.
I can't do this. Like,
Mhm.
she might be the reason I haven't gotten things. Maybe this whole time she has seen it in
Oh.
my face.
Yeah.
And because it started, everything kind of made more sense. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, she's never at my events. She's
Yeah.
never supporting me. I always see her at other people's things. She's
Yeah.
always posting about other people's events.
Oh,
And,
wow.
I, it really shocked me,
Yeah.
made me question which other agents
Mhm.
felt the same.
Mhm.
And you know how you were saying, like, it's all about who you know in this industry,
Mhm.
which is true. It is about who you know. Like, I
Yeah.
am lucky that I know Quinta. I am lucky
Mhm.
that I'm friends with Felipe. Like,
Mhm.
I'm very fortunate in that way that those relationships have blossomed and have provided fruit that I was not anticipating ever.
Mhm.
But it's also about how you're your reps talk about you to other
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
And that's a huge part of it that people don't understand. And again, I don't mind being the cunt, the comedy cunt, whatever people want to call me, the
Yeah.
bitch, the annoying, rude, whatever. I don't care. But if you're mixing that with shit that has to do with what my genetics are and what my background is, bitch, of course she's out there probably sabotaging my shit and not having any, because I just started replaying all these times my agents have stopped me from wanting to pursue something.
Yeah.
Because there was this one idea that I had that was, in my opinion, was brilliant. And they all were like, Miss, right now, that's not a good time. We don't think you should work on that. And blah, 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 blah. Like, they were talking me out of even investing in this idea. And I believed them because I was like, okay, maybe they're right. Maybe that is too dark.
Yeah.
And to this day, I regret some of the advice that they gave me because I'm like, what if they were just
sabotaging you?
Just trying to sabotage me the whole time?
Because how they talk about you essentially starts with how they feel about you and how they view you as a person. Like, even without, like, your talent, too, but, like, how they view you as a person.
Right.
Damn.
So you want to have people that are excited for you.
Yeah,
and
excited
and
for
you
you as a
also want to
whole.
know. I mean, it's like if you found out your fucking agent is in the fucking KKK, you'd be like,
oh my God, I'd be like, bye.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, no wonder you never come to my shit.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder we never vibe when we hang out.
Yeah.
I was wondering, because that was the thing. Every time I hung out with her, I was like, we don't really vibe, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
And everything kind of clicked.
Wow.
And I was like, oh yeah, I have to leave. I have to leave this agency.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks because
what was that conversation like?
I didn't have that conversation.
Oh, you didn't have it?
No. I was like, I'm bye. I'm good. I'm leaving now.
Yeah.
And maybe this is how she'll find out.
Yeah.
By maybe somebody will send this.
But
to
you
her.
just like, I mean, I guess maybe not conversation, but you just like sent an email and you were like,
yeah,
okay,
I was like,
leaving.
I'm leaving. I'm good. And it was one of the things where I had no prospects.
Yeah.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. I was like, I cannot. This is insane to learn.
Yeah.
This is insane to learn. So you don't know. It's so funny how people are so eager to have reps and to be in that space, but unfortunately those relationships are not always positive.
Yeah.
They don't always yield results. And again, that's why you have to know yourself enough to know when to say no or when to get out or whatever.
Yeah. And it's like also too, like I think back on like how eager I was even just like 10 years ago and all the things, you know, like, oh, like I want to work at Second City or I want to work at this club. And then it's like, okay, you're there. And then you're like, wait, this is the thing that I wanted, but I'm actually not happy. They fucking suck.
Yeah.
They're horrible. And now I got to go. But it's like one of those things where like that helped me learn who I was and what I wanted.
Right.
And I'm glad that I at least that happened to me when I was younger and it's not happening to me like in my 30s or 40s.
Sure.
So like the eagerness, I'm like, damn, wow, like I can't believe I invested so much time into that. But it's like, no, bitch, like you needed that.
Yeah.
You needed to go
through
that
learn.
shit. You
have to learn. You have to learn.
Yeah. So like so anybody that's like super fucking eager, it's like be eager, but also don't be hella disappointed when like you get there and you're like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Temper your expectations.
Temper your expectations. Yeah.
That's great advice. So I want to end this by talking about a comedy special that I know for a fact changed the way HBO buys comedy specials.
Oh, okay.
So Ali Wong's first special on Netflix, which is a great special.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it.
Was that the what? Has she done several specials
She's done
where she's
3.
pregnant?
Yeah, she's been pregnant.
And all of them?
No, I think on the last one she's like the single lady.
I think I saw the one where she was pregnant. It was a Cobra title. Something Cobra.
Baby Cobra.
Is
that the first one? I don't remember the titles of anything.
That might have been the second one, but I saw
I saw
Baby
special,
Cobra.
Her first special, it's really, really funny. I enjoyed it. Ali and I started around the same time. And talk about someone who she's in the fame and the creative. Like she does put in a lot of work, but she also knows what she wants.
Yeah.
We got to give her that credit. She was, when we were at open mics, there was, a list, right? 1 to 50. And women were always allowed to, because there wasn't a lot of us. There was like 5 of us. So we were allowed to sign up first, which was cool. But you could put yourself wherever you wanted. And then the boys get to sign up. So Allie would sometimes show up late and just put herself at 0. And he would let her. And it was one of those things where I was like, God damn, that's ruthless, genius, innovative.
Yeah.
And I didn't respect it at the time, but I respect it now.
Yeah.
But she's always been that. She's always
Yeah.
been eager to do whatever she wants to do,
Mhm.
and she's gonna do it. She's gonna get her way. And so when she filmed her first special, it was self-funded. I'm sure there was maybe some investors, but I know
Mhm.
she put her
Money into it.
money, sweat, tears, everything
Yeah.
into that. And then she tried to sell it. Like, who wants it? Who wants it? She did San Jose Improv, I believe. I might be wrong about that.
Mhm.
And, she was like, who wants it? Who wants it? Who wants it? And HBO was like, oh, we don't take self-produced, pre-taped
Oh.
specials. We have to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And so in 2018, I took a meeting with HBO,
Mhm.
and I was offered an hour special. It didn't happen because
Mhm.
we didn't have paperwork lined up, and then the pandemic happened, and it totally ruined it. Which is fine. That's
Yeah.
again, you got to learn how to go with the flow, shit, guys.
Mhm.
Adapt. Episode 2,
Mhm.
yeah, adaptability. It was heartbreaking, but it was the reality of what it was.
Yeah.
But in that meeting, a gentleman told me that they changed the way they buy specials because of Ali Wong. HBO never bought pre-made specials.
Yeah.
They bought a pitch,
Yeah.
they bought a your submission,
Mhm.
but they had never bought pre-taped specials. And because Ali's was such a huge fucking success on Netflix, they
Mhm.
stopped doing that. They're like, oh no, now we have to look at everyone and whatever they have, and we have to.
So Netflix was kind of the first one to pick up a pre-tape special of the
I
streaming
don't know. That's
platforms.
actually a good question. I don't know about that, but it was
Yeah.
it wasn't an era where people weren't doing that shit.
Yeah.
Not as often, and they weren't
Yeah.
like as successful.
Because I will say Netflix, I remember being the first platform where I started watching stand-up specials.
Mm.
Like specifically, I remember, I think it was like Jim Gaffigan
Oh, cool.
and Wanda Sykes, I
Mm.
think were some of the first few Netflix specials that I watched. And I was
Mm.
like, oh, Netflix is doing this now? I was like, I didn't
It
know
was
that.
cool. It was an exciting
Yeah.
time, and I thought that was fucking badass when he told me that. I was like, God damn, good for her. Like,
Yeah.
that I think my perspective of her fully changed. Like, I've known her a
Mm.
long time, and I've always respected her. I shouldn't say that. I fucking had a problem at the beginning, but I was just a hater bitch at the beginning. A young hater bitch. When you're 21, what the fuck do you know?
Yeah,
You
21.
know, I don't
It
hold. I
doesn't
don't.
really
I'm just like,
count.
I was just annoying.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that fully changed. I was like, oh fuck, I have never. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I never wanted fame. I never really wanted
Mhm.
to be in the entertainment industry, so I have never approached it like I'm gonna go out there and do this thing that no one's ever done before. I've never approached, and I think it's cool when
Innovative.
I think it's cool when people do.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of innovation happening, but because it wasn't my goals,
Mhm.
I just never, I don't have, some of those thoughts don't exist for me. But anyways, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I
so
didn't know
that's
that.
episode whatever 5.
5.
It's episode 5.
5.
Comedy is dead because of the
Yes.
industry.
It's very dead.
But yeah, thanks for listening, you guys. I hope you
Yeah.
enjoyed this episode. Please leave comments, like, subscribe,
Yes.
share. We are appreciating the feedback we're getting.
Especially if you have questions. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. We want to know.
DM us, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're invested. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.